Good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Thursday, and I hope it finds you well out there. And, got to get in. How much longer are you going to go? As everything seems like it is set up for higher gold and silver prices. Every pullback met with new higher highs. We've got that going on in the gold markets right now. Silver above 34 now. Here we go. Remember, $35 is that's kind of like the big deal number. And as we talked about, we will be talking a lot about silver today as we look at, is it going to be $40, $50, $60, copper. We talked about yesterday, how expensive is it going to get? And it's really, it's the simple things that I like about it. Because it's not really, they sit there and say, well, you got to worry about, we talk about, got to worry about tariffs. We got to worry about a recession. We got to worry about the government. We got to worry about the rating agencies and downgrading of our debt. We got to worry about not only actual wars, trade wars, right? So many things out there. But this is just what I like to call Economics 101. Remember, you take that economics class, whether it was, some of you got it in high school, some of you had to take it in college, and it, you did the graphs, and it was simple supply and demand. That's what we have going on here. This is old-fashioned supply and demand. Yes, does it help about all of these other things? Sure. Right? The uncertainty, and really more than just uncertainty, right? It's uncertainty with, it's probably going to not go the way we want it to, right? Right? It's probably not going to be the best case scenario that unfolds with all the uncertainty, which, that helps even more. But this is just old-fashioned supply and demand, and there's way more demand than there is for supply. I don't care if it's gold. I don't care if it's silver. I don't care if it's copper, platinum, right? All of these, they're all, hey, guess what? We've got more demand than there is supply. Simple. And this is something where, like I said, this is big investors coming in. We're talking about countries. We're talking about central banks. We're talking about sovereign wealth funds. Heck, we're even talking about hedge funds now. And it's just, Jason, it seems like the pace just won't continue. Give you an idea, Bank of America, right? I don't know what these guys do, right? But they had an estimate for gold that was $2,750, right? That okay, fine, to start the year, and I get it, right? Because they hate gold and all of that stuff. But what was made it even funnier to me when we looked at them? They were at $2,650 next year. I was like, wow, really? And you get that a lot with these bankers. But now, of course, Bank of America had to change their tune. Now they're saying, okay, we can see prices jumping, and of course, ready for this, an average price of $3,063. Well, guess what? We got the $3,063 today. It's all, we're already there. I have Jeff Gunlats laughing. These guys are talking about $3,000. We already got $3,000 ago. But they did, Jason, they bumped up from $2,750, right, to $3,063. So they went to where we're at now, right? Next year, they were down to $2,625. They've raised that now to $3,350. And then they put a caveat, okay, maybe it's going to be $3,500, but we don't want to say it. Guys, get in. These are, listen, trust me, when Bank of America and JP Morgan, those guys come out and say stuff like this. They already know they're wrong. Right? They already know that it's going to be higher than what they're saying, but they just don't want to admit it. They just gave up. Bank of America gave up yesterday. Okay, forget about 26, 25 in 2026, right? We're going to say 3350, but really what we really mean is 3,500. And now, Jason, some of the more bullish people, they're laying out cases $4,000 gold this year. That is how quickly things could change. So, and silver prices, like I said, I got a $40 price on silver, and I'm probably at the low end for where a lot of people think silver is going to be this year, Jason.
You know, we know that if silver hits certain levels in the 30s or if at 40, it could just springboard right to 50. We don't know. Look what gold did last year. It had never been at the $2,100 level. It had tickled $2,000 in 2020, 2021, 2022, got back to $2,000 in 2023, and then basically Valentine's Day 2024, when it was at $2,004, it just went. And we didn't even look at 2,100 gold or 2,200 gold or 2,300 gold or 2,400 gold. That just didn't exist. Nobody's going to talk about gold at those levels. It just skipped right over it. So silver, Joe's right. I mean, we see silver's always just been below the $30 range, or it's been, at 50, right? So a few more dollars, Joe, and we might not even see $38 silver or $42 silver. That just might not. That just might be a pothole in the road, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's what I think. We close above 35. It goes right to 40. That's everyone's got to cover and run. We'll be back after. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Thursday. Get ready. We've got huge opportunities for everybody today. Be ready to jump on it. We're getting ready for the next leg higher here, but a quick look at the markets. The Dow, everything's kind of flat. The Dow's up 15 points. The S&P's up 15 points. The NASDAQ's up 50 points. The 10-year note, 4.38, and it's been as high as 4.39. Not what we want to see. Obviously, yesterday afternoon, so Donald Trump kind of, I don't know, maybe he just needed to get on TV, decided not to wait for Tuesday, at least to announce it's 25% auto tariffs, all parts, all cars. Oh, boy. Woo. Man. Get ready, right? I mean, it's just what can you do here? But that's going to go into effect on Tuesday. But he announced it yesterday that it's official. By the way, oil's up 21 cents. We look at gold right now. Gold's up 35. That's 3,057, right? So right now it's at a new all-time record. It's been as high as 3,062. 3,062. Silver. Boy, look out, baby. Up 65 cents, 34.25. But remember, nobody cares about spot silver. That May silver contract up 87 cents. 35.10. 35.10. So, again, keep an eye on 35. That is the big number here. If it closed, we get 2 days that it closed above 35. That's it. We're going to see 40, and I'm going to be wrong because I told you silver's going to be 40, and I'm going to be wrong. It's going to be probably higher than that. Before we get into silver, I do want to say we did get pending home sales today. Good news. This is a February number. It's kind of old, but good news was it was up 2%. First up in months. Problem is, pending home sales are now down 7.2% year over year. And this is just the first 2 months of the year. Absolute disaster. The realtors out there, they said despite this modest increase, signings well below normal historical levels. And, well, Jason, again, right? Remember what KB said yesterday on the new homes. Hey, it's not enough people can afford it. You know, the people that come, they check them out, and they're like, wait, what's my payment going to be? What's it going to be with insurance and everything? Yeah, no, never mind. I guess we can't do that. That's kind of been driving up these markets. And then Goldman Sachs today. This is on gold. Of course, we know that they've been revising up their forecast, right? We keep telling them. Now it's at 3,300. Right, that's where they're at. They're at where I'm at, right? And I'm already telling you I'm wrong, right? It's going to be way higher than that. But they said the structural demand. See, here we go, saying that once again, gold continues to be well supported by what they're calling structural demand, and now they're saying a notable pickup in ETF demand, right? That was the one thing they said was missing. They said, with as an example, Chinese insurance companies now, they can start, instead of holding bonds, they can hold gold instead. What? Yeah, you heard me. Goldman Sachs says that there is a risk. China's the largest gold producer in the world. Russia now is the second largest. And they're saying, hey, there could be more sanctions coming. The Chinese insurance they said what they call a extreme tail scenario. What is an extreme tail scenario? Well, they said, guys, you know what? Things go, forget about going perfectly. They go badly. We could see $4,500 gold in the next 12 months, Jason. I mean, and listen, that doesn't even have to go that badly. This is how quickly things can change here.
It's 50% from where we're sitting. So if gold went from $300 to $450 in the past, that's the same as $3,000 gold going to $4,500 gold right now. Everything does run in percentages. You know, that's what inflation does. You know, when we didn't have no inflation, we didn't have to worry about percentages. You know, a cow was $20, right, Joe? Yeah, a loaf of bread was a dime. So now things are inflated and things move in percentages. And so what Joe's talking about has happened in gold and other metals and other commodities quite frequently. Let's just look at silver. You know, it can explode very quickly, but gold, I mean, we've seen gold go from $1,200, $1,300 when I came on board for the Patriot in 2018, 2019, and then right before COVID, it started moving, and then COVID hit, and it went from that $1,300 range to $2,000. That's just the spot. That's not quite 50%. So Joe's saying $4,500 gold. This is not a far-fetched, like it's something that we are making up and we're just trying to get hype. We could be falling short of where it actually goes, Joe. I would say it's not a conservative thing to say 4,500 gold. I would say it's kind of some intelligence and history backing it, Joe.
Well, I'm going to say this. Okay, make it simple for you. Okay, when we think about it. Why did Bank of America yesterday just come out and give up? Why did they give up yesterday? Well, because you know what? They know what Goldman's saying. Look at what they said about copper the other day. They're like, 10,000 a ton's insanity price. And they're like, it's probably going to go to 20. It's probably going to go to 20.
That's doubling.
Right? On top of that, we know about the shortages with silver. Silver's in a structural supply deficit. This will be the third straight year where demand blows out. Listen, silver's up almost 20% this year. I mean, it's having a huge move. But guess what? It's getting even worse. According to several major silver mining CEOs, they said that they've been invited to meet with the world's largest wealth managers from the United States, Europe, and China. They're saying names like Raymond James, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, and others, and they're all wanting to increase their exposure to both gold and silver. They say that they're looking to crush retail investing. In other words, hey, we're going to buy it all. We're going to buy it all, and the retail guy, they're going to keep waiting for these pullbacks. They're not going to come. They're talking about sovereign wealth funds, insurance funds, pension funds, university investment funds, state retirement funds. These are what the CEOs are saying they're talking to. They've said, we've never gotten calls like this before. And they're saying that they're sitting there and talking about already in shortage. They're sitting there saying, we are getting every ounce of silver we can out of the ground. And Jason, they just started saying, good luck with pricing. Now, we know, listen, J.P. Morgan, they are historic, and it's their job. They're trying to keep the silver price under control, and essentially what these miners, these major mining companies are saying is they're on the phone almost every day now talking to these companies, and they're asking them point blank, how much silver can you get out of the ground that you don't have sold? And can we get deliveries? And they're saying demand for silver, 1.2 billion ounces. They're saying that if they could grow the silver supply by 3%, and I don't know that they can, that'd be huge. By the way, that's almost a miracle. The deficit would still be 150 million ounces. The gap between supply and demand is essentially trying to be met with above ground stocks. But they said that the above ground stocks, Jason, have disappeared. And all the silver that's gone to New York, nobody wants to loan it out. So this is going to be something, like I said, we could see silver go from 35 to 40 in date. We could. And I'm not saying it's gonna, but man, I think that's a very strong possibility. And unfortunately, when you get above 35, it's only done it a couple of times, right? And it goes to 50. That's kind of the thing here. The difference between, you remember when silver hit 50 in like, what was it, 2013? 2011?
2011. Yep.
2011. Yeah, 2011. Silver hit 50, but it was a much different silver market.
Only commodity that hasn't hit record highs since COVID. So it shows you something.
Correct.
Someone's monkeying around with that.
Correct. And they changed the margin rules and all the paper things. But what they're talking about here is the problem is nobody has faith in the paper anymore, and that it's all about physical. And they're running into situations now, especially when they're talking about sovereign wealth funds, central banks, and now, when you sit there, people like Goldman, Raymond James, and they want to buy physical. They're like, we won't loan it out because we're going to buy it because we want the price to go to $100. We want the price to go to $200. And this is something where I've been doing this, like I said, this over, 22 years now. never seen anything like this. I've seen silver demand from the citizenry. I mean, I remember during the financial crisis, just for people to know, you know that silver, when I first started, you know how much they used to charge us over spot? 25 cents. 25 cents. Do you know what they charge for 2025 silver eagles right now? And this is not expensive. $3.30 over the spot price. That's just the cost.
Silver opened 2024, which that's just over a year ago, at about $23.50. It was right around $23.50. It is opened last year, which is just over it's about 15 months. And we're at $33.30 or $34.30. Excuse me, $34.30. I mean, I'm looking at 2019. Silver opened the year at $15.50. Joe, it's moving every year. It did have a little bit of a pullback in 2021, but it's just been moving up and up and up and up, and it's going to keep doing this, Joe. We're talking about huge moves maybe on the horizon, but if you look at it longer term, if you're a little more patient with your holdings, silver and gold's just been looking really, really good every year, Joe.
We got some great gold and silver. 800-951-0592. We've got record high gold prices, silver getting ready here to launch. This is the highest silver prices have been in quite some time, right on the precipice here of a very major breakout. When we're talking about, you can see the price of silver move $5 to $15 in just, they could do it in a month. I mean, that's how fast it happens. We could see $50 silver very quickly. I'll say this. I'll be shocked if we don't have $50 silver in the next 12 months. Period. Shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if we have $50 silver in the next 6 weeks. I wouldn't be shocked. It would be surprising, but it wouldn't shock me. So now we're sitting here talking about next 12 months, $4,500 gold. Goldman Sachs today. Bank of America just gave up yesterday. $50 silver. Right now we got gold $3,058. $3,058, up $36. Silver's up 70 cents. $34.30, and like I said, nobody cares about that silver price. All eyes are on the May silver contract. It's up 93 cents. Isn't that weird how much higher it is? I mean, 70 cents is a great move. Well, you know what? The May silver contract, it's up almost $1. 35.17 right now. So here's the specials we've got. So last few days, we've been running these 20s, and I've been telling you, take it. I know it can sound, and I get it. You guys are like, what? I know, Joe, you're usually right, but sometimes you're not. And maybe silver's just going to fall back here because, 3,000, 3,000 was not a technical level. Just telling you. Well, silver's been above 3,000 now a couple weeks. It looks real comfortable. Now, here we go. And don't forget, we still got Tuesday coming. $20 gold. $3,095. 10 or more, $3,085. 20 or more, $3,075. By the way, now, guess what? Gold's $3,060. So you're talking about worst case scenario, I can get 1 or 5 or whatever, and you're paying $35 over spot. If you can buy 10 or more, $25 over spot, 20 or more, $15 over. That is it. At 800-951-0592 on silver. 5-ounce silver bars. $190. $190 on 5-ounce silver bars right now. And then rolls of silver, $half. Cheaper than dimes, cheaper than quarters. They always, listen, silver $half, they're always 5, 10. Heck, we've seen them at certain points. You know that the highest silver premiums I saw on silver $half, they were $10 over spot was cost at one point on silver $half. They're $270 a roll today for silver $half. You're saving $15 a roll. That puts your price point below $38. Like we said, we're expecting $40 and maybe $50 this year. Take the time. Keep adding here. Rolls of Silver Eagles at $8.25, which it's a good price, but that's $41.25. You can save a lot per ounce buying the $half, buying the 5-ounce silver bars. I know it's not as simple, but it's great value here. 800-951-0592, $20 gold pieces. Who knows, by the time gold's done today, you may be buying them at spot. And then silver today, Jason, everybody's talking about $40 and $50 silver and how fast. That's the thing. And it's funny when you watch people look at these charts, they're just like, gosh, yeah, it's in 5 days, you can see silver go from $35 to $50 just because this is what computers do, right? They're like, wait a minute, here's a pattern. Look at what it did in 2011, right? Look at what it did in the 80s, and it will, and the worry is it's going to follow the pattern. The difference is this time around, there's no supply to follow the pattern with.
If silver does what happened in 1980 or 2011, then silver will be $85 or $95, Joe. Yeah. But if it simply does what's happening currently today, I look at history as a blueprint, but then you got to look at what's happening. If what keeps happening, if let's say Joe, saying 4,500 gold is possible, let's say next year even. If gold keeps doing what it's doing and it ends up at $4,500, I don't think silver shrinks the gold to silver ratio a whole bunch, but I think it goes down to about 70 to 1, and then you got silver at $65. So if gold's at $4,500, I say silver's at $65 at the same time. And not quite doubling from where we're at, but Joe, that's what all the news about silver. It's going to affect the physical price at some point, but I don't think they're going to let it go down to 50 to 1 or 40 to 1. I don't think they'll let it. It's too important, right? But they can't stop it if it's going to move. If it has to move, it'll move. And so $4,500 gold is $6,500 silver. $4,000 gold would be $5,500 silver, Joe, or $55 silver.
I'm going to say this. $20,000 copper, $70 silver sounds right. But I like where Jason's at. Let's call it 65. This time around, silver got to 50 in 1980, touched it in 2011. I think this is the year. This is it. We will break it. And we will close at record highs in silver like all the other commodities. And in the next 12 months, are we going to see $4,500 gold, $65 silver? It is not only, it's possible. I don't know that it's the base case yet. But boy, is it looking more and more likely, isn't 519-592. We've got 2 lines still open. We will get to you in the order that you called. The Dow, not unexpected here, giving back all the gains here, down 150. The S&P is down 5. The Nasdaq's down 17. The tariffs on autos is official now. It's going to start Tuesday, but Trump wanted to announce it yesterday. 25%, not only on cars, all parts. So I don't know how that's going to work. And then we'll find out Tuesday, who knows? Maybe Trump will just start releasing stuff a little early. But
Joe, let me do a gold number real quick. Let me do a gold number because I like looking. We don't do historical every day because it gets boring. But 2024, when gold started running early in the year, and people that have been buying gold, you all understand this. It hit $2,000 in 20, then it hit $2,000 again in 21, 22, and in 23. In 2023. The reason I'm doing the gold is because I want to preface this to what silver's been doing. Everyone knows, that's been in this, that silver hit $50 in 1980 and in 2011. It just doesn't quite get back there, right, Joe? It just doesn't want to quite get there, right? Well, gold was frustratingly just during the COVID emergency zipped right to $2,000, 2019, 2020. And then it just kept floating sideways. It kind of wanted to break past that 2,000. It just wouldn't do it. Well, in March of 2024, it hit early March, like let's just say March 10th, March 9th. It was early in the month. It hit $2,100 for the first time. It's been in that 2,000 range all these different times, right, from 2020 up to 2024. When it finally just kind of cracked it by April 14th, just over a month later, it was over $2,400, and it's never gone below $2,400. It just shot off. So silver, Joe, this is how I see it, in silver with a longer time frame. When silver gets above 50 and holds that 50, right, Joe? And I think it's just going to do sort of the same thing. We could see $75, $85, $95 silver. It could just blow up. And everyone's going to be sitting there saying, well, I didn't want to buy it at 15 and went to 30, and that just went up too fast. Forget that. When it gets to 50, and it will get to 50, like Joe said, if it holds above 50, it shows that, hey, this is the real deal this time, and it holds above 50. And it will, just like gold held above 2,000. When it hit 2,100, it blew up to 2,400, and it hasn't looked back. Silver, Joe, in that scenario, silver could double over again. It could be $100 silver very quickly, and it's just not going to look at 50 ever again, Joe. So you may want to buy some silver and get it put away. Gold will be going up at the same time. So if you're a gold bug, buy the gold. Silver it's dangerously going to break all of this nonsense of being as low as it's been. It's going to do it, Joe. I would say 2025 and 2026, we're going to see it happen. Sky's the limit, really, when it comes to that, Joe.
Yeah. 800-951-0592. I just got sent an email that Bank of America just raised their gold price again to $3,500.
Yep.
Wow. 26 and a quarter for 2026 to 3,500 overnight. Gold right now, 3,060 $20 gold pieces, 1 through 9, 3,095, $35 over. 10 or more, 3,085, $25 over. 20 or more, $3,075. 50. If you buy 50, I'll sell them to you at spot. 3,060. How's that? If you buy 50 or more, 800-951-0592. And silver, like I said, everybody, the only one carrying is the May silver contract. It's up $1 now. So, it was just up 93 cents. Now it's up $1. 35.23. 35.23. We've got 5-ounce silver bars at $190 a bar, and then rolls of silver $half, 20 silver $half, $270. That's below what you can buy diamonds for. It's below what you can buy quarters for. Below what you can buy silver eagles for. 800-951-0592, and it just seems incredible here as we are watching the ETF inflows. But really what blew this open, Goldman Sachs saying companies like Raymond James, Morgan Stanley, pension funds, hedge funds, they did almost everything, and saying that they're directly calling the CEOs of the gold and silver companies, saying, okay, how much gold can you actually get out of the ground? And Jason, because there's no available stock out there, it's almost like they're just buying ahead and setting up for a situation. My fear is once everyone figures it out and demand comes, the retail guys come pouring in here, they give up on the stock market and all that stuff and come roaring in. There may not be any product. And then you go back to these premium. Remember, during COVID, a $20 gold premium was like $400 over spot.
In China, they're standing in line for 6 hours just to buy any gold available. That's going to be coming here. Their population just seems to know better. They don't have it as comfy as we have it here, and they know they better stand in line for 6 hours to buy gold. You guys get to buy it and conveniently come in at your own leisure, right, Joe? You don't want to wait 6 hours.
This is cheap gold and cheap silver here, especially because the premiums are so fantastic right now. Jump on this. Lines are open. 800-951-05. 800-951-0592. New all-time record high in gold today. Right now, 3,060. Silver skyrocketing today, above 34, well above 34. And of course, the contract everybody cares about, the May contract, above $35 right now. We've got great opportunities in both gold and silver. $20 gold pieces, 1 through 9, $30.95. $30.95, 1 through 9. $30.85, 10 or more. $30.75, 20 or more. 50 or more right at spot. 3,060 on the silver side of things. 5-ounce silver bars at $190. And then the rolls of silver $half, 20 silver $half at $270 a roll. That puts your cost, just to let you know, cost per ounce, that's at $35.76. That makes silver contracts $35.25. I mean, you're $2.50 over. That's nothing when you think about it. By the way, at $35.25, just to give you an idea of what we would be looking at, on a roll of silver eagles, you'd probably be looking, $42.75 an ounce, something like that, $42, $43 an ounce, depending on the premiums. So this is a huge opportunity to buy at a much lower price per ounce standpoint. And Jason, it's so funny. We're talking about buying gold and silver, and then we're saying, hey, this is where the prices are most likely going to be in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months. And you're essentially like, my gosh, I'll be buying, it's way under spot with the way these charts are set up It's just a great opportunity because, like I said, now that everybody, when the CEOs of these mining corporations are like, hey, listen, wow, we don't get calls from these guys. And the calls just keep coming. Sovereign wealth fund, state. How about states? Utah getting ready to become the first state to allow for gold and silver. It's passed the legislature there. It's waiting for the governor's signature. 25 states now are somewhere in the process of taking up bills that will make gold and silver legal tender again, Jason. That's insane, right? I mean, this is something, like I said, people are making choices. It's just better for us to hold gold than it is to hold any kind of debt, stock debt, bond debt. It's definitely better than holding fiat money.
It's where you park your savings. You know, cash is your currency. Bad currency, good currency, whatever. But the best currency, currency is for exchange. Savings is gold and silver. That's where you protect what you've. I mean, we all work hard for it, Joe. Don't let it sit there and a pile of cash or in the bank. Put it in gold and silver. That's where your rock is, Joe. It literally is a rock, and it is your rock, right, Joe?
800-951-0592. Jason and I, we're coming right back with the half.